People are understanding something, are bringing peace in their lives. And you can be a part of the magic regardless of where you are. Well, thank you, and a wonderful good evening to you. And you've come here to hear about peace. It just so happens I'm here to talk about peace. So, what can one say about peace? For some people, it's something very elusive. For some people, they've been searching for it all their lives. For some people, they've done a lot of research on it and gotten awfully confused. That's one thing that I did find. I was researching something just the other day, and the more I researched it, the more confused I got. And finally I realized that the way to stop the confusion would be to stop researching it. And believe me, the confusion did subside. So, when it comes to peace, one simple thing that I would like to say is that, and maybe this will even sound like I'm not talking about peace, but bear with me. We have relationships in our lives. We have relationships with our children, we have relationships with our wives, with our relatives. And there is something very important to understand about relationships, and that is that you cannot just keep taking and 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 not giving. Because if you just keep taking and taking and taking and taking and taking, that relationship will collapse. Because a relationship really is about taking and giving. So what happens in this life? With our children, we need to give, we need to take, we like their affection, we like their respect. But at the same time, we have to give that back. And the way I look at relationships, it really is give and take. So anyways, why am I talking about relationships when you have come here to hear about peace? Well, the other day I started thinking about it, and I realized that we have to have a relationship with our lives, our existence. And it better be a meaningful relationship with our existence. Because if we just keep taking and taking and taking and taking and taking and taking and giving nothing back, this relationship is going to end up in chaos. So, in our lives, we exist. We take, we take, we take, we take, we take. After all, what is it that we give back to our own existence? What? So, I'm not talking about flowers, and I'm not talking about chocolate, and I'm not talking about cards, and I'm not talking about restaurants, and I'm not talking about walks on the beach. But this is what I am saying, is that this is what we should be giving back to our existence. And that one thing is peace. For all that this existence makes possible for us, could we, as a gift, make available to our existence the gift of peace? And just to imagine how wonderful that would be, and how much it would be appreciated by our existence. Because this drama of existence isn't going to go on forever. It is limited by its nature. Who are you? Very good question. Who are you? Actually, a lot of gas. Oxygen, hydrogen, few minerals, 70% water. But if this is all you see, then you miss the big picture. The big picture is that you are alive, and the biggest picture is that you can feel. Sorry, I'm not taking into account the human intelligence. Sorry. No credit. Because when I look at it, not always, I get enamored by it too, but most of the time when I look at it, I find it very strange. Of all the intelligent things, we have not yet figured out how to feed everyone. How can that be? Where billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars are given so that people could have food. And on the other side of it, is there any shortage of it? Absolutely not. This earth provides in abundance. So then why do people go hungry? Well, because maybe we no longer are in touch with this one thing called humanity. We're human, but we are not in touch with our humanity. And I'm not here to give you a lecture on how to feed people. But understanding the need for peace in our lives is part of that humanity. Is part of completing the picture. It is part of being whole, being fulfilled. Being fulfilled. Not by ideas. One time, a priest was walking by. I'm not going to say which denomination. Priests come in every flavor. The priest was walking by and he saw a bunch of 9-year-olds talking kind of loud, all gathered together, so he figured they were up to no good. So the priest went over there, and he looked at them, and he saw there was a little dog in the middle. And he said, "What are you guys doing?" And the children, 9-year-old, said, "Well, we found this dog, and we all want to take him home. We love him. He's so cute. But only one of us, obviously, can take this dog home. So we've decided that whoever can tell the biggest lie, the loftiest lie, can take the dog home." The priest looked at them, shook his head. "Don't you know you should not lie? Do you know what would happen if you lied? You will end up in hell. You'll be burned, you'll be boiled, you'll be cut up." All of a sudden, all the 9-year-olds fell quiet. Then finally one of them said, "Okay, you can have the dog." So, we live in this world with our ideas. I mean, what is fact and fiction? How can it be somebody's fact is somebody's fiction? Somebody's fiction is somebody's fact. Everything, when it comes down to it, it's about believing, not knowing. Knowing is part of humanity. I need to know. I need to understand. Not somebody saying, "So and so said this, and this is written in this book, and therefore you better believe it." End of discussion. Human beings need to know. When you were a little child, you did not have a clock. Maybe you didn't understand the clock, but you were up. And what did you want to do? You wanted to look outside to see if it was morning. Maybe you weren't like that. I was like that. I'd get up. I still today like to get up early in the morning. And to see that light, yes, now I know. Now I understand that when somebody says to me that divinity is within me, it is not just a great thought. It is a fact, not fiction. Fact that within me lies the answers to my questions. Within me lie the divine. People talk about the divine. Gender comes into play. Location comes into play. Mood swings come into play. And then when you question some of the things, Because when I was young, I used to question a lot. When you question some of the things, this is the pat answer. God works in mysterious ways. That's it. That's the answer. That's it. That's all you got? That's all you got? Try that with your wife. When she says, "Why won't you take out the garbage?" I work in mysterious ways. Let me know the answer. Whack! I too work in mysterious ways. That's it. That's the explanation. We are searching, and we don't even know what we are searching for. But we're searching. Why? Searching is so cool. It's so cool to search. Are you a searcher? Wow, I'm a searcher too. I've been searching. A poet from India, Kabir, says, "So now, two blind men have found each other." Before there was one, now there's two. But that's not gonna clarify the situation of where they need to be. They're handicapped. This is what happens. Without knowing the self, my friends, everything is a mystery. If you want to get rid of the mystery, try one thing that you haven't. You. You are the vessel in which peace exists. I said before, people are searching for something and they don't know what it is. Because if they knew what they were searching for, they would look no further than themselves. But where do they look? They look everywhere. Everywhere but ever, even suspecting that they are the source of that peace, of that joy, of that understanding. That the thirst for that joy is within them, and the river that can quench that thirst is within them. But they've forgotten. We forget. Why? Because in this fair, this is what it is. This is the fairgrounds, and there's a big fair going on. And everybody is saying, "Look here, look here, look here, look here, look here. Look at this." And today, I have come to Sydney to tell you, look not there, but look here. that this is where peace is. This is where joy is. This is the place where you feel. You feel. People go, well, I have problems in my life. How big is your problem? You can measure your problem. Do you know that? You can. It's brilliant. You can measure your problem next time. Just go like this. And amazingly enough, all problems are the same length. This is how big your problem is. And it seems enormous, doesn't it? Why? Because you do not know who you are. How many times have you been asked, how are you? Every day, just about, except for Saturdays and Sundays and holidays. How are you? 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 How do you answer, how are you? Don't you think you first need to know who you are to be able to appropriately answer that question? Who are you? How are you? So do you know who you are? Because in reality, you are the recipient of the greatest magic that has ever unfolded on the face of this earth. You're the recipient of the greatest miracle. Greatest miracle. If you could understand who you are the most divine of relics there ever could be. Because we hear about, oh, the prophet touched this. The Messiah came and gave the lecture here. And this is the relic where the divine resided. And the most important thing resides right now if you are alive. And if you are not, you're not listening to what I'm saying. But you are alive. What does that mean? Do you think walking on water is a miracle? Do you think walking on water is a miracle? How about 70% walking? The water is walking. That's not a miracle? I think it's pretty splendid. Unheard of. 70, that's who you are, 70% water, and you walk. And you talk, and you laugh, and you cry. And you cry like you will never laugh again, but then the laughter comes. And you laugh like you will never cry again, and the tears come. How many objectives do you have in this one journey of a lifetime? How many objectives do you have? You got one journey, one lifetime. How many objectives? How many objectives? Don't forget, it's only one journey. What can you guarantee you can make possible in this existence? Get that done first. It's a matter of priority. That's all it is. It's just where you put the 1 and where you put the 0. That's all. That's all. Put the 0 in front of the 1. 1 stays 1, 0 stays 0. Put the 0 after 1, you get a 10. Put another 0, you get 100. Put another 0, you get 1,000. What is it that you can accomplish, truly accomplish? Have you ever even looked at the list? So there's a list that's published every year. Who is the richest man on the face of this earth? Richest man on the face of this earth. Does it change? Of course it does. It changes. That's why they keep publishing it every year. Because the richest man sometimes is no longer richer because somebody else has become richer. And then somebody else who just became richer got outdone by another guy who was richer before him. And then everybody lost their fortune, and now nobody is rich. Will we be all able to be billionaires? Only if you believe in a Ponzi scheme. And there's plenty of those out there. I mean, just a few years back, there was and you all know about it, the economy of the United States of America went to the cow pasture. I would go place to place in America, talk about peace. Would people give me the time of the day? Absolutely not. Peace? Nah. We got career, we got to make money, we got to do this, we got to do that. Few did, not many. Now everybody wants to hear me. And what's the first thing that I said when the economic crisis hit the United States? I said, all it is lifting of the fog, because now you can see how it really is. That's all. We achieve only to be outdone by someone else. But what is it that we can achieve? And there is no competition. And it is a guaranteed success. Then I joined Kabir in acknowledging that peace is achievable by human being. And when the peace is achieved, it is there for the rest of your life. Everything else will go. Dog, no problem. Cat, they run away anyways. But peace goes wherever you go. Peace is the rain in the desert that brings unimagined possibilities. The seeds that have lied dormant brings them alive. How is that possible? But they wait, and they wait, and they wait for the rains to come. And the nectar from the heavens is what they have been waiting for. The nectar falls, and these seeds respond. And in the barren desert, where you would think not a blade of grass could be, it explodes. The most delicate of the flowers, the beauty, unimagined, purple, yellow, red. That seed holds that possibility. The possibility becomes real when the rain comes. Desert is not the issue. Desert is not the issue. It is surprising that even in that desert, that miracle can take place. This is the song that your heart wants to sing. Your heart in your life wants to sing this song, and it is the song of peace for you. Yes, all of this is poetic in a way, but only to those who see this as rather impossible. For those who understand, they see its possibility. You saw the video about the prisoners incarcerated. You would say, let's go do an event and talk to these prisoners about peace. And I would say, oh boy, that, really? You think they could grasp the notion of peace? Let's not go to that place where you shouldn't be talking to them about peace. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. But to understand, see, that's the humanity. That's that humanity. And in the humanity, even in the desert, and believe me, it is a desert. Even in the desert, when the rain comes, something is ready to sprout, to be, to exist. If we human beings were those flowers, our first assessment of the situation would be, gee, you know what? Here we are. We're in the desert. Rain comes once in a while. What's the point? Would we not? How many people are in this world who go, I'm not interested in peace. I've got things to do. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. I have responsibilities. There is something much busier than you. You know what that is? This time passing by your fingers. When you're not so busy at night, sleeping, snoring, the time is busy working on you. Pushing, 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 pushing. Yes, this is the burial at sea. Pushing, pushing, till one day, vroom, vroom, done. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? How much time have you got? You didn't see that video. We've been showing that video in other places. But if you average 70 years, world average 70 years, that's 25,550 days. And you go, well, but I intend to live for 100. Fine, 100. You know how many days that is? 36,500. If you had an Australian dollar for each day, you would be alive for 100 years, 36,500. You could only buy a used car. Not much. Not much. That would not almost peg out for a whole year's salary. And you would have to make lean cutbacks. What are you going to cut back? Whose courtesy do you exist on? What is this miracle that I talk about? Well, the coming and going of this breath is a miracle. What do you think? What do you think? Oh, I know there are people here going, what? Now you're taking it to the extreme. Coming and going of this breath? Very dear friend of mine, she was having medical problems and she came very, very close to joining the Davy Jones locker. She's fine now. She wrote me a card. She says, finally, I understand what you were talking about. And she's been listening to me for a long time. Not everybody understands. What is a miracle? Miracle is when a statue bleeds. That's not a miracle, that's an abnormal situation. That's an anomaly. Miracle is a normal. And here's the miracle. Your symphony began with the coming of this breath, not going, coming of this breath, and your symphony will end on the note of going of this breath, not coming, going of this breath. And what does it bring you? Brings you life. Brings you existence. What is existence? Existence is the place. If you understood, everything is being made possible for you by existence. And the question still remains, what is your relationship with existence? Oh, yes, not about your uncle, and not about the nephew, and not about your niece, and not about your brother, and not about your sister, and not about your wife, and your grandmother, and sister in law. Existence. You only find the existence to be dear when you feel the push on the boat. Oh, wow. And then, ha ha ha, let's party. You want a party? Party. There's a party going on. It's a party of peace going on inside of you. Join it. It's a dance. Dance with it. It's a rhythm. Feel it. It's a song. Hear it. And if you can, hum with it. Hum with it. Sing along to be. So if you recognize any of those possibilities, then you can begin to understand who you actually are. Not a victim of circumstances. Not a little penny that is being tied to the back of the car and doesn't know its destiny. Not something that is so full of what I wonder what I did in my last lifetime. See, the more you research this, the more confusing it gets. Because then, oh yeah, the reason why you're going through hard time is because in your last lifetime, you must have done something. And I mean, it's like, what? I mean, even a police officer comes up to you and says, I'm going to give you a ticket for speeding. Not, I'm going to give you a ticket. And you say, for what? Well, I don't know, but you must have done something. I mean, what is the point of punishment if you don't know what are you getting punished for? How do you improve? But here are people, oh yeah, you did something in your last lifetime. What is it? Oh, tell me, why is somebody born rich and somebody born poor? Is that the leveling field? Is that the leveling field? Ask not why somebody is born rich and why somebody is born poor. Ask, how much capacity does a human being have to be happy? And you will find it has nothing to do with where you are born, when you are born, whether you are a male, whether you are a female, whether your father is rich or your father is poor. Because if it is all about being rich, then you tell me why Paris Hilton was crying. No, it's a dilemma. How do you explain to an Indian farmer who works 24/7, 365? How do you explain to the Indian farmer why Paris Hilton is crying? She has more money than he knows math. He couldn't count that high. She's going to be put away in a prison. Not just any prison. Pretty decent. Air conditioned, yes. Very good security. in suite. The farmer has never heard of that. His in suite is outside. If it's raining, cold, whatever. How do you explain? It is not about the rich. It is not about the poor. It is about your capacity to be happy, to be fulfilled. That's your mark. That's your mark. That's your scale. Don't be fooled by the other scales. That's not your scale. Your scale is that even in the middle of all that seems so wrong to you, there can be something right, because there is something right, because you know what? In the middle of all that wrong, you are alive, and that is right. That's not wrong. That is so right. And so if you did everything wrong in your last lifetime, my God, you must have done something so good. Hang on to it. Embrace in your existence the divine. The divine that truly is everywhere. Embrace in your life peace. Embrace in your life humanity, because you are human. Embrace in your life understanding. Embrace in your life answers. Embrace in your life this joy. Embrace in your life clarity. Because you get so fascinated by doubt. Doubt provides such an impetus to you to start thinking. And all you need is clarity. And you can think about things that you want to think. Thinking is not wrong. It's just, when you think, do you think about things you want to think, or things you really don't want to think but are being made to think about? Because if you start thinking about the things you want to think, I know what they are. Because you're no different than me. They are, thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this life. It's been an incredible ride. And of all the gifts that I can ask for, I want to give my existence the gift of peace. For it is the most noble. For it is the most beautiful. I see, when I say that this possibility of you having peace in your life is very possible, because I know you're searching for it, but you won't find it ever, because you already have it. That's the problem with searching. How do you search for something you already have? I mean, so I want to search for this tie. What should I do? It's right here. It's right here. Where should I look for it? Can I look for it under the chair? Well, I'm a free man. Of course I can. I can make an idiot out of myself. I can get down there. Somebody can come along and say, what are you looking for? I'm looking for this tie. Peace. Did you not know? That peace was always inside of you? Tell me, here, I go and I talk to a lot of people, believe me. And sometimes I tell them right off the bat, and by the way, I'm not going to tell you anything new. And sometimes I say it at the end. I say, I am not going to tell you anything new. I have not told you anything new. Everything I have told you, you already knew. But you're such a believer. You don't want to believe in things you know. You want to believe in things you want to believe in. But you already knew the peace was in you. The divine was in you. You knew this. How can you not? And the question for people becomes, but do I believe? Don't believe me. You shouldn't. You should know for yourself what I am saying. This is different. This is not about, I will read the book, pre-digest the thoughts, and pass them on to you. I'm not a preacher. No. I want to evoke in you, like I need to evoke in me every single day, the need for peace. And to rejoice in knowing it is so dearly close to me, as it is so dearly close to you. Be still. Be still. You move too much here. Be still. If you want to see the magic, be still. You question everything. Be still, because the answers are coming in the form of this breath. You want to listen to the music, but you move too much. You make too much noise. Be still, and you will listen to the most beautiful music, the music of your heart. There are the realms of questioning. You should question. I'm not saying you shouldn't question. You should question, but make sure you get the answers too. To keep on questioning. Listen, you have seen cooks stirring food. Have you not? Have you seen cooks stirring food? So if you got an empty pot and started stirring, you think you will have something by the end of the day? I don't think so. Because sometimes all you do is see them stirring. You don't see the food, you just see them stirring. So if you took that, that's not it. They're stirring food. There's something in there. We'll first get something in here. And that's understanding. Understanding. Understanding of you. It's all good news. Sorry, but it's all good news. You have hope? Of course you have hope. Some people go, but I'm so old. So? By the way, the breath just came into you. How young was that? And this one? This breath just came into you? Was it old? Brand new. That's how old you are. That's how old you are. Okay, this is bad, but I can attest to this. In this body, eyes go, ears go, nose goes, tasting goes, legs go, knees go, 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 go. And as you age, I got less and less. But what doesn't ever change? Your ability to enjoy will never change. Even at 100 years, you can enjoy like when you were 2. I have seen this. I have seen this. I have seen in people who couldn't smile because things were wrong, too old, but the eyes just light up. I'm talking about a sweet, sweet reality that surrounds you every day. Embrace it. Be. A little consciousness goes a long ways. Little consciousness can bring you clarity, bring you understanding, bring you joy, and most importantly, peace to this relationship you have with existence. It's a beautiful, wonderful relationship. It is one relationship that is absolutely guaranteed to be there till the end. Do you know that? Till the end. That's the one you gotta cover. You gotta cover that. You gotta make that one right. You gotta make it as beautiful as possible. And if the whole world gets ticked off, fine, but don't turn off your existence. Don't tick that off. It is the realm. It's the romance. The great romance that you can have in your life. That's all I have to say tonight. So, thank you for coming and listening to me. And again, I wish you all the best and happy relationship with, because in this relationship, every day is a Valentine's Day. So a happy relationship of the heart. Thank you. Good night.